Now let's turn our attention to West Asia, where tensions are running high between Israel and Lebanon. There was a fresh round of attacks today. 10 rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israel. 10 rockets, one Israeli civilian was killed, and this has only added to the threat of another war between Israel and Lebanon. Israeli forces could attack any time, and the West is scrambling to prevent this, to prevent a wider war in West Asia. Governments are not taking any chances. Many countries have asked their citizens to evacuate Lebanon. The UK says the situation could escalate. It has asked all its citizens to leave. The UK's Foreign Office has told them to not depend on London for evacuation. That's what they've said. Don't depend on us for taking you out. Similar advisories have come from 3 more countries: the United States, Germany, and France. So what are they worried about? An attack on Beirut. Netanyahu has issued a warning. He says Israel's response will be harsh.
These are our children, the children of all of us, and the state of Israel will not and cannot ignore this. Our response will come, and it will be harsh.
He's referring to what happened last week. The Hezbollah launched a rocket attack. It struck a football field. 12 Israeli children were killed. The rocket fell here in the Golan Heights. It's a rocky piece of land controlled by Israel. It belonged to Syria, but Israel captured a part of it in a war in 1967. And then in 1981, Israel annexed the whole of Golan Heights. It's been with them since. And this is the area that came under attack. Now, Israel says that Hezbollah have crossed a red line here, and they will pay a heavy price for it. And what has Hezbollah said? Well, they've denied responsibility for the attack. But this denial does not hold much water. Israel blames Hezbollah, and so does America, although it doesn't want another war. The US says Netanyahu should exercise restraint.
No nation can be expected to tolerate the kind of severe threats that Israel is facing. At the same time, we believe that there is still time and space for a diplomatic solution here.
Hectic diplomacy is on. American diplomats are working behind the scenes. They're trying to contain the situation. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is making phone calls. He spoke with Isaac Herzog, the Israeli president. And Blinken's message to Israel was quite clear. Do not escalate this. Avoid a bigger war. In fact, Italy is saying the same. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is visiting China, and she has expressed concern about the evolving situation in West Asia.
It means that there are different regional players aiming for escalation and always aiming to force Israel to react. I also say this to urge Israel not to fall into this trap.
Don't fall into this trap. That's a message for Netanyahu. What about the people of Israel? What do they want? Well, we can tell you what they do not want. Their prime minister. The war has made Netanyahu deeply unpopular. He paid a visit to Druze, the town in Golan Heights where the rockets fell. And there Netanyahu was greeted by protests. So while he's pointing fingers at Hezbollah, Israelis blame him for the attacks. It's another matter that none of this will deter him. He wants to retaliate. He wants to launch a major strike on Lebanon, and he's trying to rally global support for it. The Israeli government has released a video, and I must say this could be disturbing. Disturbing to watch, so we advise viewer discretion. So Israel won't back down. Where would it strike? So far, the fighting has been limited to the border areas, the southern part of Lebanon. That's where the Israelis have been attacking. They've targeted Hezbollah bases there. But what if Israel aims for Beirut, the capital of Lebanon? Well, then Dahieh could be a potential target. This is a stronghold of Hezbollah in the heart of Lebanon's capital. It would be a very risky attack, though, and ill-advised, because Hezbollah will not take it lying low. An attack on Beirut will have major consequences.
I think they are smarter than hitting Dahieh. Hitting Dahieh, it means to Hezbollah that they'll hit Haifa, they hit Tel Aviv. We cannot control that as a government. And I think this is dangerous. It means big escalation.
So Israeli forces will have to prepare for a retaliation. Do they have the bandwidth for this, for a multi-front war? The IDF, the Israeli Defense Force, is already dealing with a shrinking fighting force. Many reservists are not reporting for duty. Israel also needs more firepower. Reports say they're facing a shortage of military equipment, also munitions. So as Israel prepares to attack Lebanon, it must also look within. Its people do not want a war, its army is stretched thin, and its allies are upset. Can and will Netanyahu defy all of this? I guess we'll find out soon enough.
Across continents, one powerful news source.
Bringing you diverse perspectives on the issues that matter.
We go beyond the boundaries to give you that little extra about every sporting moment.
So thank you for making Firstpost 5 million strong. We're counting on your support, and you can trust us to bring you the news unfiltered and unvarnished.
Climate change is on our doorstep. It's time for a revolution to take root. And it starts with 1.4 billion Indians. It starts with one tree. One tree for humanity. One tree for Mother Earth. One tree for our future. Project One Tree, a News 18 network initiative.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup Bangladesh moved across to the West Indies. What can you expect from this?
Hello, I'm Alison Green, coming to you from Durban, South Africa. Today we have a special
Start with a report on India's shifting nuclear posture. The first time since India officially became a nuclear power.
Hello and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Aaron Ham, coming to you live from the nation's capital,